Whenever we down, he can lift us up. Ain't a difficulty, too difficult for us. If only we would trust and keep our heads up. The sky we can touch, yeah. But I feel like I'm already gone. Been living the weight on my own. I feel like I lost my. Whenever we down, I feel so he can lift us up, yeah. Ain't a difficulty, too difficult for us. If only we would trust and keep our heads up. The sky we can touch, yeah. But I feel like I'm already gone. Been living the weight on my own. I feel like I lost my. Whenever we down, I feel like I can lift pogroms, yeah. From the Greeks and now in Rome, yeah.
Yeah, there's a song that I want to share with him now.
This place is a
this
dope.
is the song, guys.
We are royalty. We must go back to our place in Kiswana.
No, we are staying right here. This is the motherland. Yeah, we go for the motherland. Yeah, we gon' play it loud until they feel it, yeah. Yeah, we gon' blow the roof up off the building, yeah. Yeah, we gon' play that motherland bounce. Check it out now, motherland bounce. Check it out now, motherland bounce. Yeah, black and Yiddish, I've been with a Sammy Davis cousin. Tried to dodge the industry, but now my name is buzzing. They all saying that I'm conscious, I say that it's nonsense. So I say I've been on since on had an on switch. From Seattle, the rainy city where my mom lived, in Jerusalem, the golden city that was conquered. But still we moving onward, motherland conquest. Smell me like an armpit, yeah. Yeah, we gon' play it loud until they feel it, yeah. Yeah, we gon' blow the roof up off the building, yeah. Yeah, we gon' play that motherland bounce. Check it out now, motherland bounce. Check it out now, motherland bounce. We robber. My mama told me that I read good. Been on my straight and narrow, but my history is the hood. Thank God today that we could buy a box of Cheerios or kicks. I can even buy tricks. I'm no longer on WIC. EBT card ripped in my passport lit. Stamped like a notary from every country that I went. Ain't a country like this from the others you've been sent. Black is beautiful. This gon' be the motherland hit, yeah. Yeah, we gon' play it loud until they feel it, yeah. Yeah, we gon' blow the roof up off the building, yeah. Yeah, we gon' play that motherland bounce. Check it out now, motherland bounce. Check it out now, motherland bounce. We baba, yeah, yeah, bounce, yeah, 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 bounce, yeah, 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 we bounce, yeah, 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 yeah. He said it's God's plan, but I'm God's man, yeah. I used to run with BGD, yeah. I dropped the B and put a O after the G, yeah. 6 points, still big up King D. In the synagogue, camouflage, but I can't wipe the skin off. I'm proud of it, it's loud a bit, but I'm not trying to crisscross. I done made it this far, hold it all in my heart. I hold my breath and brace myself when they take they socks off. Ain't no monkey business, cause ain't no monkeys in here. I know what you've been thinking, the black Abe Lincoln. Just wanted you to be aware. Signing off, it's Mr. Black, Hitler's worst nightmare, yeah. Yeah, we gon' play it loud until they feel it, yeah. Yeah, we gon' blow the roof up off the building, yeah. Yeah, we gon' play that motherland bounce. Check it out now, motherland bounce. Check it out now, motherland bounce. We baba. Yeah, we gon' play it loud until they feel it, yeah. Yeah, we gon' blow the roof up off the building, yeah. Yeah, we gon' play that motherland bounce. Check it out now, motherland bounce. Check it out now, motherland bounce. We baba.
You gotta take your hat off, man. Another one? You gotta take your hat off, brother. I can't cut your hair. Tell y'all ain't from around here. You need to leave them chains here.
Straight and narrow, but my history is.
Man, you ain't hiding that jacket, man.
Man, don't be worried about what I be.
Oh, Ian, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Okay, how are you?
Baruch Hashem. You know, today is the yahrzeit of Rav Ovadia, Ilula.
Right.
So, do you know how he looks like?
I think I've seen a photo.
Yeah.
Amen.
One second. Yeah, okay.
Hazaku Baruch.
That's his son. Okay. Oh, Alan, how you doing? I can't hear you. Alan, are you there?
That's what it is. I was muted. You couldn't hear me.
Oh, Alan, how you doing?
Now you can hear me. Fine.
Yes. So how was your Shabbos?
That was a few days ago.
Am I late?
Oh, David, how you doing?
Hi. Have I missed anything?
No, we saved the good stuff for you. Don't worry.
Oh, you've got a picture of my Cheder teacher on the wall here.
Oh, with the headmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
sorry.
No.
So this year is gonna be on this. It's gonna be about the werewolf, and we're gonna talk about Adnei Sadeh, and one more other if we'll have time. We have mermaids, but fire slander. But the main thing is werewolves. Yes.
How are you, Ian?
Hi, David.
Good.
Alan.
Alan.
Hello. Hi, David.
Oh, he's having his lunch. Lunch while you share.
Okay.
Can I just say that I don't want to be rude, but at 2:05,
I read your
I will
message.
leave you pretty quickly at 2:05.
Okay. We're starting exactly at 1:30, unless Alan Taylor is not here. Then we wait to him until 35.
No, but Alan
But
Taylor,
since Alan is here today, we can start straight away.
let's start at 1:30.
1:30. I know also Marsh is coming and Martin.
Oh, Alan Moss is coming.
No, Alan Moss, that's
I
good.
didn't realize you were so from me. You wanted to.
So the question today, let's do stop share. The question what we're going to talk today, the short time that we have, is, let me just put this, excuse me. You prefer gallery view or speaker view?
What difference?
Okay, good.
Well, we can change our own anyway.
You change around.
Perfect. You guys know. Okay, so today, Mizat Hashem, we're going to talk about something that it struck my curiosity a few months ago, and especially when we came towards the beginning of the year, the two parshas, Bereshis and now Noach. Many different types of creatures have been evolved and recognized within the text. So today and the next week also, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to have two sessions. The first session will be talking about werewolves. What is werewolves? Is there any kind of connection or Jewish root to this myth? This whole idea of Adnei Sadeh, which is very interesting. It's an animal which is connected through his stomach and like a pipe to the ground. And if you cut it, then he dies automatically. But no animal in the world or no creature in the world can defeat him. So it's two types of creatures, and there's many more. There's mermaids, there's goyim, there's a dibuk, there's nephilim, there's the phoenix that is beautiful. This whole concept of phoenix, phoenix. Has anyone heard about phoenix? Any myth that you recognized with phoenix?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that a yes? Means you believe in it? You've heard of it? You think it?
We've heard of it.
So you think it exists, or is it a myth?
It's myth.
Greek mythology.
Greek mythology. Sorry, Alan?
It is a mythological creature.
Mythological. So I want to surprise you today.
You know what?
Let me surprise you, because we talk about Greek, yes, around 2,000-3,000 years ago, or maybe 4,000 years ago, a little bit maximum 3,000 years ago. And then we talk about the Torah, which is 5,781 years ago, the creation of the world. And we'll see that within the Torah and within the Midrashim, because of course all of these things comes from the stories, Pirkei de Rabbi Lezer also, and you will be surprised that even Rashi, when he talks about werewolves, he brings the parsha in Parshas Vayera. So that's Exodus chapter 8, verse starting from verse where is it?
Do you want to get my coffee?
Around 24. So Rashi says, Kol minei chayot ra'ot, on verse 17, excuse me. The Arov, what is when God brought the wild animals to Egypt, what type of wild animals came? Kol minei chayot ra'ot v'nachashim v'akrevim b'irvuvia, v'yu mashchitim b'hem. And so there's all these types of wild beasts. And what is this wild beast? So an interesting, if you look to the blessings that Jacob gave to his sons at the end of Genesis, he gave to his son before he died, and he called Binyamin Ze'ev. What is Ze'ev?
Wolf.
A wolf. Fantastic.
Moshe Ze'ev.
Why Moshe Ze'ev? Why did he choose Ze'ev? What does Ze'ev mean? What type of character Ze'ev has? He sleeps in the day, he goes in the night. Okay, he likes to bite, and it says that they used to put, like, to stop the Zevin, they used to put the afar next to the Mizbeach. Why the Mizbeach? Why the temple? Because Binyamin was also, that was his territory with the temple. There's also a connection over there. But most importantly, Jacob didn't want Binyamin to go down to Egypt. Why? Because he is a wolf. And if he will go down to Mitzrayim, he's afraid that when Hashem, at the end of the plague of Arov, said something very unique to the Arov, he says, and he says, excuse me. Oh, verse 27. Vayas Hashem kidvar Moshe. Let me read it in English. Hashem did in accordance with Moses' word, and he removed the swarm of the wild beast from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one remained. Why did Hashem, why did the Torah have an extra phrase that says, what? What was the word? Not one remained. So the rabbis learned from this, in Midrash, in Pirkei de Rabbi Lezer, it says that Jacob was afraid that Binyamin is going to be with the wolves, and he changes as a wolf.
Yeah.
And therefore, when Hashem will take all the wolves, he's also going to take Binyamin. Now, there's another interesting makor. Is the hair. Now we have werewolf is four major things. If you look at the myth of the werewolf, we have morning. Anyone recognizes when was it in the Torah that there was an issue that the morning, the sun is coming soon and there's a sunrise very, very soon and things changed? When was that? That was when Jacob fought the angel.
Angel, yeah.
And then when the morning came, he had to go. Because it says he was the angel of Esav, the brother of Jacob. Now, what is Esav? It said, it's interesting, werewolf and vampires. But Esav, there is a midrash that says that when Esav kissed Jacob on his neck and the neck turned into marble, if you remember that, when they embraced themselves, when they hugged each other and they didn't see each other, 400 soldiers, whatever it is. Yeah? So when he felt, it says he gave him a kiss on his thing, and he wanted to bite him and suck the blood. That's what it says in Pirkei D'Avot. We're talking about quotes of almost 2,500 years ago from Pirkei D'Avot, 2,000. And then another point. So that's where it was the morning. Now another point that he was saying vampires when they change, they have lots of hair. And what does it say about? What did it say? What does it say about Esav?
It's very hairy.
Exactly, it was very hairy. And another point, it says that when he was in the womb, it says in the Midrash that he bit the mother's womb, so Rebecca's womb inside. It was drinking from the blood within inside. It says in the Midrash, and that's connected to the teeth. It says he had teeth. Whether it says he had teeth, because we learned the pasuk. And there's another pasuk that talks about that in the same verse. It talks about Esav and the teeth, and that categorizes. What does it matter? Why am I telling you this? Few points. First of all, we just talked about the werewolf, and I showed you a few moments in the Torah, a few scenarios that it brings this category of a wolf, and the Pnei Ephraim actually says, Pnei Ephraim, they come later. He writes down in his book, I don't know how many years, I think 300 years or 400 years, I don't know exactly, that there's people that are changing into wolves, and then they come back to what they want, and they drink the blood of the people. Now it says there's three creations, three animals, that if you see it, you say a special blessing. It's the monkey, it's the owl, and it's the how do you say it? The elephant.
Oh.
All of those three, you say Mishaneh Briot. But we'll get to that in a moment. Before we get to that, I want to explain that there's a that the Pnei Ephraim says that not only that is connected to that he changes in the night, but it also depends on the winter, on the autumn. So one is in the winter, one is in the summer. That's all the werewolf, and so it's basically Binyamin and Esav. Now, if we have a little bit more time, we'll continue to Adnei Adasa, and then you'll see at the end it's all connected, all these mystical creatures.
That's your question.
Yes.
The werewolf, etc. Are you calling them animals?
No, I'm calling them human beings that change to animal, that have the ability to change to an animal.
So they're human beings. Okay.
Human beings. Exactly. Esav was a human being. He had this character. But Adnei Sadeh, which we're going to say now, these creatures that come from the ground, they're creatures.
Okay.
They're a different thing. And it says also Arov, one part of the Makkah, part of the plague of Arov was these people. It says in a Chidah that there's an animal that says Adnei Sadeh shekashu bechevel, and you can only disconnect it if you throw an arrow to the how do you say tabu, when the mother with the woman and there's this
Placenta.
What?
Placenta?
Placenta, this long thing. Yes, a long tube.
No, umbilical cord. Umbilical cord.
Umbilical cord. So he has an umbilical cord to the ground. It's and it says down in it is very, very interesting. You've come across it many times in the Torah. It says you're not allowed to do kishuf, which is magic, and you're not allowed to do ov uyudoni. Anyone's where's Ian? Ian, do you know the Hebrew word yidoni?
Ian?
I can't hear Ian.
He's having his lunch.
He's gone.
No, he's not gone. He's there.
He's there.
His arm's there.
He's on the Ian. We can't hear you.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you know yidoni? Yidoni is that they used to put a small bone and they used to put it in the mouth. They used to get prophecies, and with the Samuel that came, wanted to bring up. They talked to Yidoni and all that. Shaul brought up Samuel. If you know, Saul went to these people. Anyway, it says in the Torah you're not allowed to do it. But what is this bone? So Rashi says it's the famous creature. What is the famous creature? We don't know. So Rashi in another place says, Adnei Sadeh. It says, and Adnei Sadeh, it's something that he speaks, no one really understands, that that creature, and if you take a bone from that creature, you can say these prophecies. And that creature speaks language that it sounds like humans, but really don't understand. And if you take that bone, you can do that type of magic. Now, Esau wanted to do that too, because he wasn't like his brother, and he wasn't like his father having prophecy from God. So he took this piece and he put it in his mouth, and he used to say prophecies, like half prophecies. And that's the connection to Esau too, that we said he was a vampire and everything like that. It says that Esau can catch at Isadeh. What is Isadeh? Anyone in the garden, in the place where there's trees, he can catch, because he was at side. He was a person that how do you say side, Marsha? Someone that catches animals.
A hunter.
He was a hunter. Esau was a hunter. It says he hunted all the animals in the garden, including Isha Sadeh, the Sadeh, which is the same word we said that was in this creature. And therefore he took that bone and he put it inside of him. And it says that even Pharaoh continued to use it. But nevertheless, sorry, yes, Marsha.
Can you say again what this animal looked like? Because I know you said at the beginning.
Okay, now let's do some pictures. Yeah. 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I'm trying to visualize here.
So this is the werewolf, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
1 second. Let me find it. 1 minute.
That was nice.
I'll tell you exactly where to go.
You won't have one of those.
I don't know. I said it.
Okay. You all see this?
Yeah.
No.
This is the bone.
No. We've got words.
The words.
We've got the article.
Sorry?
No, we're not seeing it.
Mishnah Yomit.
Okay, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Sorry. Do you see this?
No.
Black.
No.
Nothing.
Black.
Nothing.
Okay, never mind. If you can't see it, you can't see it. Never mind. I don't know why it doesn't work. Okay, what we'll do is like this. 1 second. We can send it.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. We'll send it later.
Okay.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's the thing, you know, that I don't know, some kind of thing, and then they have this bone, and then what do you have? 1 second. No, that's the phoenix.
That's the phoenix.
And then you have so it's basically this. This is the only picture that you can really find. He's lying on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like a dog.
Yeah, it's a connect. I don't like this picture. Maybe there's a different picture. 1 second. Never mind. Check it out, and you'll see the connection of the. It says like you see the man with a head growing. I don't know. It's not my picture. Okay, let me just take this out. Okay, let's continue.
You're on your side there.
You're sideways. You're lying on the ground.
How are you doing that?
You see, I became an expert. No, I'll tell you what. You do like this, and then you do rotate like this.
Hey, you're upside down.
Okay, sorry. Okay,
Okay, very good.
Let's continue. So, we talked a little bit about werewolves. We talked a little bit about Nadasa, but before we continue, I would like to explain why is it so important and what can we learn from it, especially Parshas Noach. Now, it's very simple. We start from scratch from the beginning. What's the beginning, Ian? The beginning is the creation of the world. What's next, Alan? Man and woman.
It's the expulsion from the Garden of Eden, really.
Okay, the sin, getting out of Garden in Eden. David, the Cain and Abel brothers fighting with each other.
It kills one kills the
Yeah.
other.
And then what do we have, Martin? And then after that, what do we have?
Noah.
We have before Noach, we have all the people and all the lives that they lived.
Babel, Tower of Babel.
The Tower of Babel is after, but yes, it's after Noach. But yes, and then everything to prepare for Noach. Now, what does Noach do? Noach says, "Come over here. all the animals of the world, Hashem is going to bring them together and come to the Teva of Noach, to the Ark of Noah. Who is the one that did not come? You might say dinosaurs, whatever. Okay, but who was the only animal in the world that didn't receive the curse of Adam and Eve, which is death? The only animal in the world that did not receive death, and that when he was on the ark, when he was in the ark, the Midrash says the Shem saw that the son of Noach saw that he's sitting in his room or whatever on the side, and he's not eating. A few days he came to him and said, "Well, why are you not eating?" You know the story with the lion, with the bitten. But when he came to this animal creature, it was a bird. It's called a phoenix, and he didn't eat. He said, "Why not eating?" Because I saw you were busy. I don't want it. If I die, Hashem will take me. Hashem will. I see you eating. I don't want to bother, but to take away from others. When Noach saw that, he gave him a blessing, and therefore he never dies. For every 1,000 years, he vapes or some kind of fire, whatever you want to call it, and he comes back again every 1,000 years, but he never dies. An animal that did one act didn't receive the punishment. How's that? So what I'm trying to say is, from these creatures we learn a lot. We learn from the characters. We learn from what they did. Even look, one of the characters managed to get infinite life.
That's a midrash, presumably.
Midrash, yeah. Let me explain about midrash. Midrash is stories.
Yes, but how long was that? How long ago?
No, not stories. Not fairy stories. Stories means father after son after grandson saying the exact story. We came out of Egypt.
But how old is that? How long ago was that story?
From the Phoenix?
Yeah.
So it's the last time where it's written down, because the writing of the Torah Shabbat Peh came only after around the time of the Mishnayos. Check it out. It's around 2,000 something years ago.
We were there before the Greeks with the Phoenix.
Exactly. Perfect. So this myth, this idea, this concept, no one's seen it. It says also that these animals that get power from the land, they are in the hills of Lebanon next to Israel, in the wild. But the Machane Ephraim brings a few hundred years ago. He said, but today we don't find them. They can vanish. There are. We know from the dinosaurs, whatever. We know that there's animals that vanish, except the phoenix. He always lives. We didn't see him. That's something else. But these creatures at NASA, they're there. Now, regarding to the vampires, today there's no vampires. No, there was beasts, there was creatures, but today there's no vampires. It said Esau maybe was like that, was like this. Okay, but today we're in a different category, and that's what the rabbis said. It's different. It's went away. It's more to do with the avodah zarah, with, like we said, with prophecy and avodah zarah. It's all the level. And the minute they took away prophecy, they took away avodah zarah, and they took away that. So that's what it teaches us. It teaches us that go to the Teva of Noach, go to the Ark of Noah, and I want you to learn from each animal, each creature, each insect, each a mammal, each any cattle, each animal within the ark. I want you to learn from the good character. What can you learn from the? And sometimes you learn bad things, meaning what not to do. Now you might say to me, Alan, wait a second. Why do I need these creatures if I can learn everything from the Torah? Or maybe you can ask me the opposite now. You can say to me, maybe I don't need the Torah, and let me learn from the animals. And that's what happened until the Torah was given. How did they know what to do, what's good and what's bad? They saw the cat had good trait that she was always modest. They saw I don't know what the dog barked. Everyone the ants was about zrizut, about being fast. Many things from each animal. So why did you need the Torah? So there's a few answers to this. But before we get why we need the Torah, and that's the reason is because Hashem wants us to do it and to be clear, to clarify what to do until the end, also Kedusha. So basically, infinity, all aspects, that you do one action that touches all aspects and not just the one that you think it is. Coming to these creatures, we can learn something fantastic. Starting with the werewolf. What do we learn from a werewolf? What positive thing you can learn from a werewolf? What do you say, Ian? It means, yes, you with me? It means that we should differentiate between day and night. That's how I look at it. And another thing is that Binyamin is a character of Ze'ev. You know, if someone asks you, should I call my son or should I call my grandson Binyamin? What do you say about the name Binyamin? What does it mean? What is Yitzchak? By the way, Yitzchak, I forgot. You have only one Yitzchak or two names? Ian is not there, right?
Sorry, I'm here.
Are you here? What's his name?
Yeah, laughter.
No.
Laughter.
Is it just Yitzchak or something else?
Yitzchak Tzvi David.
Tzvi. So interesting. He has a deer in his backyard, in his name. What is a deer? And Martin is a Ze'ev. So what does it mean on you? How is your character like a Ze'ev or a character? Now, why? First of all, you should think about it, but why is it important? Because each person, and you see it from very little age, when they grow up, they have this character. One is shy, one speaks, one is louder, one is funny, one is smarter. They have how they behave, and in a positive way. We say 70 ways of how to see things, in a positive way. But this will indicate all your life, until 120, how you can manage your characters, how you can approach your characters by recognizing the characters within. Now you need to know what is Zev. People think wolf is a bad. No, Zev is a fantastic. Is a warrior. Is a person that Martin, do you sleep at night?
No.
No, exactly. Yitzchak, are you happy? Of course.
I'm happy.
You're happy. Fantastic. Abraham, do you have a heart of gold?
Who's Abraham?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Alan, is your name Abraham?
Yes, of course.
So why are you looking at me as if I'm talking to someone else?
No, well, I'm not used to immediately reacting to Abraham. But yes, I am.
Okay, and David is a king. David is a king, and he has that power to give. By the way, David, do you have one name or two names?
Two.
What's the other name?
Zavel.
Zavel. Anyone knows what Zavel is?
No.
No. It sounds like Zeb, but it's not. And Marsha, what is your Hebrew name?
Sima Masha. So Sima is from Simcha.
Simcha too. Each person has a name, and it has that character. And it's the same as looking at a cat in the morning, or at your dog, and learning by its traits what to do, what not to do, and learning from the world around us. The world is talking to us. Hashem is talking to us through many, many examples that are happening around us.
Rabbi.
Yes.
Rabbi, when someone's given a name, do we derive the characteristics because we've got the name, or do we have the name because we already have those characteristics?
It's twined together, Yitzchak. It's beautiful. It comes, the mother knows what to say, and the father knows, and she thinks she was a knight. Everything is a prophecy. Everything is in the right day. That's what we say. When the woman gives birth, B'ezrat Hashem soon, the name comes. It flows. Now, whatever you thought Hashem put it there. And that was supposed to be, and that's the neshama, that he was there before. He was created before. He already had an identity. And he decided on his identity. He said, I want to be like this, in this house, in this matzav, in this situation. And I'm going to tell you that even with all this situation, I'm going to win, and I'm going to be a Talmid Chacham. That's what he's going to say. I'm going to be a proud Jew, and I'm going to do the mitzvahs, and I'm going to be happy. Even with this situation, and you decide, and the neshama decide, and with all the character that you have as a ze'ev, as a happy, someone that is stingy, someone that is large, someone that is a depressed person, that someone that is a jumpy person, someone that everyone has a different character, and they're born like that. Not just how they were born, but the society, the surrounding, the air, what he eats, the family, everything has an influence on his character. And all his life, from age 13, he needs to work on his character to put it between bad and good, put it in the middle exactly, and balance in his character. And when you know the name, or it's not just the name, but when you know yourself, then you know what to push and what not to push. Then you know when we're talking about Binyamin, he needs to be careful about the day and not the night. He needs to be careful not to bite people and to be angry, or maybe Esau is like that.
Yeah.
He has to maybe work on his anger, or even not if just something that has an extra, like Aaron is also peace. Yeah, Abraham is also chesed, is also generosity. David is also fighting for the name of Hashem and singing in Tehillim. And Yitzchak is also giving himself to Hashem. And that's what helps us to grow in that direction. We have a help. We have like a malach. I learned today, and then we'll finish with this point, because the next shiur we'll talk about different creatures. But just to finish a little bit, I learned this morning about the mitzvah of mezuzah. Now, I didn't know how much mezuzah has a huge impact in not only in the next world, as all the mitzvahs are promised to be received in the next world, but also in this world. And I was amazed, because I saw that first of all it says leman yarichun yamecha, your life is going to be a long life. A long, long life. Ya'arichu yamecha. Not only you, your sons and your daughters and all your family. That's one blessing when you do a mezuzah. Now, by the way, when we say a mezuzah, means first of all, you need to have it in your house. Second, every time you pass it, you touch it, and you think Yichud Hashem. What is Yichud Hashem? Like the Shema. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. One. Hashem is one. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. One. And there's special verses that you say, but I'm not here that you should remember it. Hashem Yishmot Tzedecha V'Rachmat Avolam, Yishmot Tzedecha V'Rachmat Avolam. All these names of Hashem, of that, to remember that Hashem is going to protect you, and that comes to number 2. The second benefit, if we could say, in this world, and this is called a miracle, that is the series of say, a miracle that you can see, not a miracle that you can't see. It's not a hidden miracle. It's, how do you say the opposite of a hidden?
Open miracle, visual miracle.
No. The opposite of
Apparent.
What?
Apparent.
No, in front of everyone. A galui.
Universal.
No. Appearance. So that everyone can see it. A pilsum, like Hanukkah. A pilsum, everyone can see.
Everywhere.
Shining.
Okay. So a miracle that everyone can see, that is with the Shmiar. Why? Because when Hashem protects your house and the whole city is bombed from the Nazis and everything, and the only house that is up is the guy that had a mezuzah, that people see it, they say, wow, it can't be. It's a miracle. And that's why it's something that you can see the miracle. Whereas when we're talking about long life, no one really knows why this person has a long life. So it's not really shown the miracle that is from Hashem. And these are the two things about mezuzah. And that's why every time you go next to a mezuzah that brings protection to the house, we talk about the Hashem, this learning of holy learning, the words of Hashem should be a refuah shelema for Rabbi Sachs and for Rabbi Entroy and for our fellow friends in our community, Michafai Bish Ben Rosa, and all our friends over here, and Bezat Hashem, all our refuah shelema. All of these is our learning. It creates a connection with Hashem by saying that Hashem is the only one, and that's why we're davening only to Him, and He automatically gives a blessing. That's what we say in the Shema. Hashem promises us that He's going to give a blessing. Hashem promises us. Sometimes we need to check the mezuzahs, okay, but the main mitzvah is not just to put the mezuzah. Where does the real mitzvah come into? Anyone knows?
Kissing it.
Yes, you put the mezuzah. No, even not kissing it. You put the mezuzah. Where does the mitzvah asif from the Torah to get every moment that you do it a mitzvah? Where is that? What function? And the answer is, and this I saw today. I didn't really know it. I never saw it like this. I saw the Shulchan Aruch, the Rav Yosef Karo. He says it inside, and also the Ramah, which the Ashkenazim say also to say the verses. He said that when you go there, when you come in the house and go out the house, and vayivga b'makom, and you touch it or are next to it, you remember that Hashem is one. 39 tal atale. Hashem is one, and this action, it's called Yichud Hashem. It's like you're doing the same action of Shema. It's like it's you're doing Hashem is one. You automatically receive a mitzvah. Not only that you receive a mitzvah, you receive a mitzvah of Yichud Hashem, which is one of the most fundamental mitzvahs that a person has to do all the time. But when you come next to a mezuzah, you have to do it, and that's why whoever's on this Zoom has to remember. When you come in, you need to remember, because it's only about, it's not about touching, it's not about this. Whenever time you pass a mezuzah, you remember that Hashem is one. Is that hard to do?
No.
Tell me, has anyone said it's hard to do?
What's the word yichud? What did you say?
Yichud means one. Yichud means together, one, everything. Hashem is everything. Everything is Hashem. Hashem is totality, everything. Yichud Hashem. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And that's why you have what is written in the mezuzah, the Shema.
Yeah.
And the Shin.
Yeah.
The beginning of the Shema.
Okay. Yeah.
That is the beauty of mezuzah. Now, of course, you have to check if it's kosher, but the main thing, remember, is what? Is to remember.
Think about it.
So, if there's any questions, please, we have another 15 minutes for questions. The shir is ending. I'm going to leave the YouTube, but you can, if you need to go, you can leave.
I'm afraid I have to leave. I have other places to be going, but it was very interesting. I hope to be here next week. Here's the second part.
Just to mention, next week we'll talk about the phoenix, and we'll talk about the ulka and the nephilim also. Nephilim is interesting. These people that fell from the sky. These people. What is that? And of course, maybe with the Leviathan, which is the most most massive fish that we talk, and it's so weird what kind of context we're talking about, the big fish or not the big fish, maybe dragons also, the Nachash, but that is the next few. Okay. Yitzchak, any question? Yes, Marsha.
You said about when they took away prophecy. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. I think it's one of the most important marks in history for the Jewish people today that need to remember. That it was a turning point where the system and all the connection with the Sanhedrin and the rabbis in the Beis Hamikdash were working on a specific system, used a prophet, or the Ruach HaKodesh that they received in the Beis Hamikdash, until the point that it says that the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the prophecy, stopped, not the Ruach HaKodesh, the prophecy, and continued in the rabbis. Instead of a Navi, it went to the rabbis with a version, a new iPhone 12, called Ruach HaKodesh. That is amazing. It's very interesting to see the transition and what happened over there. But it's important for us to know that since then, we don't have prophecy. And since then, many things stopped. Because as we said, the moment there is prophecy, the temptation for all this magistical avodah zorah is tempting. And the minute Hashem took away the prophecy, or it started the opposite, because we couldn't take the temptation, we stopped the temptation, and then also the nevuah stopped, the prophecy stopped.
So
sorry, Yitzchak?
Can we just take that further so I understand? What in our Jewish learning is the purpose of prophecy?
Oh, it's a direct, there's two types of prophecy, first of all, before I answer that. There's the Moshe Rabbeinu prophet, and there's the rest of the prophets, all of them together. The Moshe Rabbeinu's prophet, will start from him, is the saying the word of Hashem and revealing to us what the Torah says by prophecy. And we heard Hashem say that Moses, he is the true prophet, and I'm speaking whatever I say to him, he's going to say to you, and he doesn't have a choice to sin. Very important. And then there's other prophecies which help us keep the Torah that Moshe Rabbeinu said. How does it help us? Be aware Another 50 years is going to be destroyed if you can continue like that. Okay, that's one type of thing. There's another thing of, you need help. What? You can't learn Gemara now because your sheep ran away and flew in the fields. Don't worry. Ask the prophet, where is it? Excuse me. Okay, I'm catching it and I'm bringing it back and I'm continuing to know. It's helping me too, but it's helping the time, and it's helping the generation, if you want to say it. The tkufa. The period of time that he's there, he helps the people. He helps them to do teshuvah. That's what Yirmiyahu, Ishayahu always are talking about. Changing our ways, not to fall into the pit, and to get to the prize. That's what they do all the time, from Samuel and all the prophets. But in order for you to complete the Torah fully, and that's why it says that the prophet in his generation could do something against the Torah, because it's only limited to his generation. As an example, if the prophet says this year we're not gonna fast on Yom Kippur, we don't have a prophet, so we couldn't say that this year. Yeah, but if they say yes, then we have to listen. If he says what's written in the Torah, which is the Yom Kippur fast, we're erasing that from the Torah, that you shouldn't listen. That you should throw him and you should kick him out. But if he says just this year we should not do Yom Kippur, he's allowed to say that to the people. Why? Because he connected to the generation. He's alive in order to tribute and to help and to motivate and to direct the people that they should do the right thing. Today, who do we have? We don't have prophets. We have the rabbis. And the rabbis tell us what the Torah says, and within that, you have a little bit of motivation. Of course, not like a prophet. The prophet can do boom. He can just show you anything and you have motivation. Automatic. If you see a dragon next to you, then you're motivated on the spot. But if the rabbi say there's a dragon next to you and he's invisible, you say, thank you very much, Rabbi, but I'm not afraid. Not motivated. So it's different, of course. But the power of that's what we have the brain coming before, the power of understanding that whatever's in the Torah, that we can bring out from that motivation, that's what we're supposed to do.
So, right, I thought, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Okay, I thought that was a really good answer, except you probably won't like this, but okay, so if the power of prophecy is passed to the rabbis, and if the prophets could change things and go against the Torah in a generation, people would ask, not me, but
why
other
not
people
the
might ask, why can't the rabbi say this year we don't fast?
Good question. The answer is they didn't pass the prophecy to the rabbis. Transition, remember the word transition.
Yeah.
Changed. Yeah. They started receiving something different called Ruach HaKodesh. It comes from the Torah, but doesn't have the rules of the Navi.
Okay.
And yes, if they will, and the rabbis take all the ruling from the Torah, but let's say an example this year. If the rabbis would see that this year it's a sakanat nefashot, it's a danger of life, a critical life.
Yeah, they would have done it.
Coming that's really near, and if you don't stop it, if you don't stop the arrow, it's going to shoot the person.
Yeah.
Then you have to. They will eliminate also today all of Yom Kippur that year. And who did that? It was a famous guy, and you would love that person. I said this. I mentioned this rabbi. I think in the first year that I came to Northwood, and I keep on talking about him. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter was the head of the Muslim movement, working on yourself and changing and change the curriculum within the Haredi yeshivot, which is the yeshivot in those days, in the time of the generation after the Gaon Mivina was Rab Chaim Volozhin, and then after that was this rabbi that he changed and he said, you have to learn Musar, you have to learn on your being. And what did he say? He said there was a plague that year in his town or whatever it is, and he came on the night of Yom Kippur and he took a cup of wine and he did Kiddush on the night of Yom Kippur in front of everyone. And he drank and he gave to everyone. Why? Because he said this year it's a sakana. And if it was also this year happened, then it will also have to do it. But apparently this year, If you fasted, has nothing. It's not connected to the fast at all, unless you're sick, and then it's a problem. If you're already sick, then it's already a different issue. You get the pshat? Any other questions?
When I think about the word prophet, I do think a bit of magic. I don't mean in a Jewish context. It is about telling the future.
Yeah.
It is about knowing what's going to happen, and certainly from the Greek origins.
Without going to the Greeks.
Sorry?
Without going to the Greeks, prophecy is to tell you the future.
About the future, yeah. So
exactly. You want to know what's in the lottery tomorrow, you ask the prophet.
Yeah. So that's not our concept of prophecy at all, really.
No, that is exactly that.
But then why couldn't they know the lottery ticket?
They didn't do lotteries.
No, I know, but
No, that's why they didn't do lotteries, because everyone will ask the prophet.
Right. But there's no concept that there's no concept yet that people could visit the prophet to find out.
By the way, the prophet doesn't know everything. Only what he receives, he says.
Yeah, okay.
And if he didn't receive, he didn't receive. But if he received something, or he asked for something that Hashem answered him, sometimes no. Yeah. Not everyone can come to Hashem and say, Hashem, I want to talk to you. That's only Moses, panim and panim. He just came and he talked.
Yeah.
They only received download when they wanted.
Yeah.
And also Balak, and also non-Jews were prophets. Remember that?
Yeah.
Balak was a non-Jew.
Yeah.
He was a guy. He was like Trump receiving our prophecy. You say this guy's a meshuggah. If Trump is receiving
but people couldn't visit. Individuals couldn't visit a biblical prophet to ask about their destiny.
They could.
And did they?
They did if they needed to. If there's something that they needed. And Hashem told the Navi,
the prophet,
then he has to share. A prophet has to share what he knows. He's not allowed to keep it to himself.
What's the Hebrew word for prophecy?
The Hebrew word for prophecy is nevuah, navi, nevuah.
What does that mean? What's the root?
It means to bring. I think I'm not an expert in Hebrew, but I think navi, bo. It means come. It means bringing it. It means being together, coming together, and Hashem appearing, and it says that most of the prophets were receiving it when they're asleep. And there's many laws. You should learn the Maimonides. He has a whole list of laws. Maybe we'll do it once. And what is a prophet and what he needs to do and how he needs to behave and how he needs to dress and what he needs to say and how do you get there? There's layers. You start from Torah, then you start from being fast as Rizus, and then you start from being careful, and then you go to Chassidut, extra. There's a whole ladder to get to prophecy. If you want, you can come to my school. We have the School of Prophecy down the road.
When Joseph interpreted the dreams when he was in prison, and he did, he talked
God
about
was talking to him through dreams.
Was that prophecy?
A different level of prophecy of it, yes.
Because he told what was going to happen to the baker and the butcher, whatever. And
by the way, prophecies and being a parent, it also depends how Hashem and what name of Hashem appears to that person. So let's say Abraham was Shindalid Yud, was different than Moses, that was Yud Kei Vav Kei, and Elokeinu. I'm not an expert in this with the names, but just to say that there's a difference.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting idea.
Do we still have prophets now amongst the rabbis?
We have one prophet that is alive. Anyone knows? And by the way, he comes often to England. One prophet.
Elijah.
Oh, Elijah the prophet never died.
Yeah.
You can go this world, that world. Is there? And that's why we have one Elijah. That's why Mashiach is always connected to Elijah.
Yeah.
Because the only prophet left. Chazak u'baruch. May you have a great day. We'll be in touch. Chazak.
Thank you.
See you next week,
Thank
Wednesday,
you.
1:30.